So when I was talking yesterday and I was telling you guys what my motivation is really to leave radio and start kind of a new life, I told you guys that I wanted to feel awe more often. When I got back from Scotland, I was just sitting there, just realizing how small I am in this world, not just physically, but in the world, sitting in the world. And when I retire, this is what I want more of, more joy, more just looking at things that give me joy and make me go, whoa, we're part of this whole thing. And I have the freedom to do that. In fact, as soon as I got off the air yesterday, one of the things I started doing is like, you know what I really want to do? Like the day after our last day, I want to go see the Milky Way. I've seen it through clouds when I was in the Bahamas. So I'm starting to look at different places that on the 25th, the morning after the last day, I may be going to Texas. I may be going to Nevada. I may be going to California. There's a place, Big Bend National Park, that's supposed to be absolutely awesome, where me and Amanda can stare at the stars for a couple of days. I can do that now.
You can do that.
That's the kind of freedom that I'm really looking for. The second thing I wanted to bring up this morning is I want to focus on two DMs that I got that really represented a lot of DMs I have gotten.
You got DMs yesterday?
Just two.
If you had to throw out a number, how many messages did you get from people about your retirement?
Well, let me just say this. It's going to take me more than a day to answer them, but I am determined to answer each and every one of them. And I'm doing that in a very calculated way. But I'd say probably yesterday, 400.
Wow.
400, and that doesn't include text message. It was a it was a blessed day yesterday. But I'm getting a lot of these, and this is what I want to focus on and have an open discussion with you guys about it. And I'm in a position to be able to do this now, but it's taken me my entire life to get here also. This one came from Alex. Heard the announcement this morning. Been a listener since moving here from California. I was 18. I'm 40 now. My girls are 18 and 20. Your retirement announcement was a wake-up call. It made me realize how fast life flies. It has encouraged me to live life more, to enjoy life more. Lately, I've been fiending for a change. I want to have the liberty to be able to do just that, enjoy my life more. Thanks for unconsciously giving me that push. This was another one. My company is about to close, and your segment this morning really pumped me up. While my job pays really well, it doesn't fulfill me. I'm excited about what this next season will bring for me and super excited for you. But there were so many of these that I thought, let's have a convo about living life here a little bit. And I'm not exactly sure what the message is, because I could have very well been sending me these kind of DMs over the course of the last 25 years. I confessed to you guys yesterday, I've been so strung out in making sure that this thing is successful and it's done in such a perfectionist kind of way that I don't know that I've really allowed myself to enjoy it. And if I could turn back the hands of time and I could work with a therapist and sort of change my attitude and change my wiring, I wouldn't live with this kind of, it's certainly not regret, but I just wish I would have enjoyed it more. And I think when you look at the statistics and when you look at lives, most people, I think, feel a lot like these two. I'm in a position now where financially I've saved up enough money where I couldn't do that a couple of years ago. So this was impossible. So is this kind of life even within reach in our country? If you want this kind of freedom and you really want to pursue your happiness, I guess maybe this goes back to us having the conversation of, can you have it all?
And that's why I'm like, I'm of the mindset, no, you can't have it all. I just don't think that's plausible. However,
and I will say this, I will answer that this way. No, I couldn't, but now I can. So yeah, I think I'm arguing on your side now.
Yeah, but I do feel like you can find ways to be fulfilled. And that's what I said when we had that discussion about like, can you have it all? And, work-life balance and not just like being the best mom and the best co-host I can be, but you also want to be the best wife and the best friend and the best daughter and the best sister and the best aunt. And it's just, there's a lot of roles we play in our lives. So to be the absolute best in all of those at all times, that's just not humanly possible. There's not enough time in the day, there's not enough energy, etc. So for myself, what I am exploring is like this job has been my purpose and has been extremely fulfilling and is still fulfilling to this day. Otherwise, I would have bounced a long time ago. What we're able to do for our listeners and the community, and I still to this day have a huge passion for it. So I now just have to redirect and figure out, all right, where am I going to find that purpose and where am I going to find that fulfillment? And right now, I don't know.
Right. Listen to this statistic. I just Googled it really quickly. This is so sad. In January of 2025, only 44% of Americans reported being very satisfied with their personal lives.
That tracks.
That's a staggeringly low number. Isn't that a concerning number?
44%?
Yeah.
It actually feels higher
I know.
than I
Really?
expected. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough world that we live in. And I think the older I get, the more I realize how complicated and challenging life is. And I think the fact that even close to half the people feel somewhat satisfied in their life, I think is it's a pretty lofty number.
Cassie, where are you at with that? Because you should be miserable. Based on what's been
She's
going
a part
on
of
in
the
your
66%.
I work too much to be miserable. I'm too busy. I don't think it's possible. I just don't think the way everything is set up and the focus and the hustle culture we keep pushing into people and people's passions turning into extra revenue streams. I don't see that as a possibility. And right now, I mean, I have guilt every single day. It's either I work too much and I don't see my kids and I have guilt, or I'm feeling like I'm spending too much time with my kids and not working enough and I have guilt. And every single thing, I feel like I'm always apologizing when I'm like, this is just life. You need to stop apologizing for just existing. You're doing your best. But if I'm being honest, when I take a step back, the way everything is set up is not to support this system. I'm just thinking back to like kids getting out of school at 2 p.m. when you're supposed to be working till 5 or 6 p.m. So either it's just one partner in the household working and the other being a stay-at-home parent and taking care of the kids. And then they feel like they're not pulling their weight enough because they're not bringing in income because everything is so dang expensive. You need two household incomes to even stay afloat. So I think we're just at this period where it's just grind, and you find moments of happiness where you can. And for me, it's like looking at my family and I was looking at them all on the couch yesterday in our RV and I was like, I love them so much. I'm so happy that I get to spend this time with them. And I think you readjust what your life expectations are based on your surroundings and your circumstances. And I think that's how you find happiness.
I think I've shared this with you guys before that over 10 years ago, because I've been divorced for 10 years now, Stacy and I, my ex-wife and I, had the conversation when we were married, is like, because she saw the stress on me, man. And when you have that kind of stress, or when I had that kind of stress, of course, it's going to be contagious to the rest of the family also, right? And I was having the tremendous guilt that you're talking about also. And we looked at ourselves and we're like, look, we already know that you love radio. That's not going away. But do you have to do it in Atlanta, which is a very big media city? Like, it just takes more. And we really had a conversation like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should call up 95SX in Charleston and I could do mornings there. It's a smaller market. It's a different lifestyle. I'm not going to, it's just it would be a different situation than it would be having a syndicated show in Atlanta. Less stress probably. But we also came to the conclusion that it doesn't matter where I'm in, man. I could be in Boise, Idaho. I could be in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I could be in Fresno, California, or I could be in Atlanta, or I could be in Charleston. I'm the guy that's going to work and try to be number one and try to get more syndicated markets and try to get into the Radio Hall of Fame, although that's never really been a goal. So the city didn't matter. It was my wiring.
You are who you are.
You are who you are.
We all are who we are. And we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. And we just have to figure out what we want to see.
So, Cassie, let me ask you this as we move forward here in just a couple of seconds. If you were looking at your future self, looking at this part of your life now, and you're already feeling like you're working too much, you're overworked, and you dive in, do you think that you will look back at that time and say, I should have pumped the brakes a little bit more?
No, because it's my wiring. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I accomplish and what I can do. And I feel like I have a unique set of skills and it makes me feel fulfilled. But then there is a part of me, I think everyone is so dynamic and multifaceted. There's a part of me that just wants to, honestly, a dream of mine is to build an off-grid cabin in the woods somewhere that's completely self-sufficient and have a vegetable garden. I want that life as well. And it's frustrating when you have two lives, when I want to succeed in media. I want to launch a podcast. I want to continue to work on other shows and make them succeed. And I get so much fulfillment out of that. And then I also want to retreat into the woods and become like a recluse and live in my little cabin in the woods and just watch Netflix. And so I think the big question is when you, and this is not a unique to me, everyone has conflicting dreams. And so the question is, how do you build a life that marries those two things and where you can find that balance? So for me, it's with the sunsetting of the Bert Show, I will be able to focus more on my other job, Pioneer, and building that up, but also have some time where I can launch my podcast, where I'm not going to have a cabin in the woods yet, but I will have a vegetable garden in my backyard. It might be one raised bed, but it's starting. So I think it's being intentional in seeding your big dreams and breaking off small pieces. And you might not be able to do the biggest thing yet, but what small piece of that dream can you start putting into play now so you have that full fulfillment and that balance?
I was so excited for you yesterday when you said you were probably going to leave Atlanta.
Yeah, I am. And that's part of it too. Like it's interesting because everyone else on this show travels and I really haven't lately. I used to travel all the time internationally. I loved it. That's just what my family does. I miss checking out other cities and living other places and going on adventures. So I think this is going to open up that avenue for me and allow me to go on some of those new adventures and new experiences and start sort of pouring into my own cup a little bit. And I think that's life. It ebbs and flows. Sometimes you can focus on yourself and sometimes life is like, we need your attention these other places, and that's okay too. It's just finding a way to be at peace with that ebb and that flow.
The Bert Show.